What's your thoughts so far on Texas Tech football?
Damn, I'm trying not to drink that Koolaid, man.
Already, right in with the heat. Right in with the heat.
It's hard.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. At my previous job at Red Raider Sports, I got to cover spring football and everything, and we all know by now that's when Tyler Shucks showed up. And I remember going to his first practice, and I remember talking to one of my coworkers there and just saying, damn, it's going to take a lot for me not to drink this Kool-Aid right now on this kid. It took a lot, but I'm excited in the sense that you have one of the oldest defenses in America, right? Like, I think you have, I want to say top 5, maybe even the most starts back on that defense in terms of just starts from 1 to 11, whoever's playing on the field at one time, projected starters, the most in the country, right? I mean, that's crazy to think about. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to win football games because of that, but I'd rather have experienced guys than freshman guys most of the time. Yeah. But I think for me, what it comes down to is just, level-headed expectations. Again, I have to tell myself every day, hey, don't drink the Kool-Aid on this, man. Just don't do it. For me, though, I'm just excited first and foremost that fans are going to be back in the stands. Whatever your political beliefs are, whatever, throw them out the window. It's just awesome to see freaking Jones AT&T Stadium rocking with 60,000 people. Regardless.
Going into his third year.
Oh, man. Y'all trying to get me in trouble with this Matt Wells talk, aren't you?
Oh, let's go.
I'm not going to get you in trouble with whatever words come out of your mouth.
We're just we're just going for like one more click, so I'm sorry, buddy.
He follows me on Twitter. I got to be careful, man.
Ooh, shit.
What are your expectations? What are you hoping for? What is the... Also, like, what's the cliff for him if he doesn't do well? Like, where's the drop-off start?
It's bowl game or bust, right? Like, I think you have to make a bowl game or else he's not here next year. But also at the same time, like, just realistically thinking about it, like, if he doesn't do it this year, he's never going to do it. Like, he's just not. Like, you have one of the oldest defenses in America, as I mentioned. You have Tyler Shuck, a guy that's won a Pac-12, championship as a starting quarterback. You have the offensive coordinator that everybody's longed for since Cliff left. Like, the deck is stacked for him to succeed, right? So if he doesn't succeed, like, okay, at this point, there's no defending him. Like, you have first year, Cliff left him with nobody, which is true, because, my God, that recruiting class that Cliff left is just abysmal.
Brutal.
Then COVID, like it or not, that happened, right? Yep. You were 3 minutes and a change away from beating UT at home, but you blew it. Whatever, it happens. But now there's no more excuses, I think, at this point. Like, you either have to put up or shut up if you're Matt Wells. And again, the deck is stacked in his favor here. You have a quarterback that you haven't had since Patrick Mahomes. You have the deepest stable of running backs, maybe in Texas Tech history. Like, and I don't take that lightly, but I mean, I truly believe that. And then your offensive line, you get an all Big 12 guy at left tackle, your biggest issue last season. Now, wide receivers, somebody's going to have to step up, but you have an all conference guy in Eric Zakama who looks like he's going to play week 1 now. And then on defense, loaded on linebackers, super high on the secondary for me with Rashad Williams. Absolutely love that kid. And then you have arguably the best punter in America. So, like, I don't know what else more you could ask for if you're Matt. I think Matt Wells found a cheat code. Like, I think he was ahead of his time. I think we're going to look back at it. Maybe it doesn't work for him. But a lot of people are going to go this route that are the size of schools of Texas Tech, which is that transfer portal is going to change the game forever. Like, he was ahead of his time with that. Like, and again, it might not work out for him. If it doesn't, oh, well, that's fine. But every coach in America outside of those, Clemson's, Alabama's, those kind of schools, they're going to be doing what Texas Tech did in terms of let's get older before we get younger. And we'll just take our pick of the litter in terms of maybe 12 or 13 high school recruits that maybe will pan out. If not, all right, we'll just go replace them with some guy from Duke in Muddy Waters.
Yeah, it's free agency now in college football and basketball and all these sports.
It's kind of what I was feeling like. It feels a lot like free agency or like a
draft.
That's
what it is. And now
especially
you can
now
pay
with
them.
NIL.
You can pay them.
It's changed the game completely.
You can pay them.
Yeah.
Is the upgrade from Yost to Cumbie? What are we getting this year that we were lacking our OC?
Coordinator that actually knows how to use his players.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean,
nailed it.
Throw more shit on him.
We just wanted somebody to say it. We had a Yost roast section for quite a while. It was great. But anyways.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, the man pulls off his hair. Somehow he's kept his wife. I don't know how he's done it. But congrats to him on that front, right? But no, in all seriousness, like I think Yost was a bit stuck in his ways, right? Which was the most frustrating aspect of his whole thing. And Sonny, from the practices I've seen and the people I talk to that are still going to practice right now, it kind of seems like, hey, for example, I'm just going to throw his name out there, Chad Townsend, right? Chad Townsend probably isn't an in between the tackles guy, right? Like that's just not what he is. But if you get him out in space where he can make a guy miss, hey, he's probably actually good at that. There's a reason Nick Saban in Alabama recruited the guy. So I think just putting players in a proper place to succeed and actually giving them a better chance to succeed is what we'll see more. I also think we'll see a lot more RPOs that are effective because you actually have a guy in Tyler Shuck that can actually do both and not just one or the other, in Henry Columbia or Alan Bowman, who, by the way, is third on Michigan's depth chart. I don't know if y'all saw that update.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, my boss at Chat Sports, Michigan guy, I hear about it all the time. Real douche when it comes to Michigan stuff. Told him that to his face.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he pays the bills though, so I can't get too mad.
There you go.
But
suck it up.
But I mean, in all honesty, I mean, it just comes down to using players and what they're supposed to be doing, right? Like, you're not going to put a
Sounds
guy.
so simple.
I mean, you think it is, but I mean, y'all watched games last year. Y'all may have even gone to a game. Like,
I don't have any hair because of these games.
That's dating back to the Leach days, though, I bet, right? Yeah.
That's just a lot of wear and tear. But is the hype real on this guy? Are we getting a legit quarterback that can take us to a bowl game this year, that can actually, provide more positives than negatives?
I think so. I've waned back on drinking that Koolaid. At least I've tried to. But I mean, if you're just looking at it from like a standpoint of take Patrick Mahomes out of it, because I mean, it's not fair to compare anybody to him, right?
Yeah.
But you look at what Tyler Shuck does well in terms of he's tall, he has good arm strength, he's accurate, throw outside the numbers. We haven't seen that since Patrick Mahomes was here, a quarterback to actually throw outside the numbers. Now, that's not to say he doesn't make terrible mistakes. I mean, he throws into coverage sometimes, and he's gotten better at that, but I think it's something that it's just going to have to get better throughout the season, and hopefully it does, where he just takes risks sometimes, and sometimes his arm strength allows him to do that, but also at the same time, you're playing D1 competition, man. Like, you're sometimes just not going to work out.
Somebody that you're looking forward to that's not in the limelight, that's not getting a lot of attention, but like a little under the radar, but really going to make an impact on this Texas Tech football roster.
Rashad Williams, man. That's my guy right there. I fell in love with him the first practice I saw spring, where you go out there and, in modern football now, you want corners that are long, rangy, and athletic and quick, hits, right? He fits the bill. It's going to be predicated on the linebackers, right? You have three of the best linebackers in the Big 12, the best linebacking core, maybe in the country, in terms of just like outside of the Alabamas, Clemsons, and everything like that, right? Like the guys that don't get those 5 stars every year.
Yep.
I think when you look at Colin Schooler, Rico Jeffers, and then Kershaw Merriweather, I think those guys all have the potential to be guys where they could be Mike linebackers and roam sideline to sideline, rush the passer, plug the gaps in the run game, be really effective. So I think that's where it starts. And then this might be a little hot takey, but I think the secondary is vastly improved. I think you're not even going to recognize this secondary and how vastly improved it is. In the sense, I think Muddy Waters is legit. I think that, whenever you get Dunlap back from his shoulder surgery, I think he'll be a lot better. He's supposed to be back and he's practicing right now, I believe. I think Eric Monroe will be better. I think Adrian Fry has a lot to prove as well. I think the biggest thing about the secondary is, for the first time, at least since I've paid attention to Texas Tech football, they have 7, 8, maybe even 9 guys where if they're on the field, you're like, okay, like I feel somewhat comfortable, like they do something well.
All right, RC, to wrap up the Tech football talk, giving us a lot of names to watch for, you giving us a lot of Kool-Aid talk. So what's your prediction for this season, man?
Real quick, are y'all grape Kool-Aid guys? Where are we going on the Kool-Aid?
No, red Kool-Aid, whatever
Red
flavor
Kool-Aid?
that is. I don't want to
Cherry?
call it. I don't want to call it cherry because there's no cherry.
Purple. It's purple.
Yeah,
Purple.
like
Okay.
there's purple Kool-Aid, there's red Kool-Aid, like those they call it grape, but there's no shot
I don't
that's
care.
actually.
I don't care what color the Kool-Aid is. I'll drink it. I like all Kool-Aid.
It depends on it depends on how many scoops of sugar though. That's important.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm right there with you, Brooks. Like, if you put a glass of Kool-Aid in front of me and there's sugar in it, 10 out of 10, I'm drinking.
Yep.
At least try it.
If you skip the sugar part and you know kind of on the lesser end, then I'll stay away. But
I'm going to be honest with you. If you have friends that drink Kool-Aid without sugar, put them in a mental home right now.
Yeah.
Like, they got some issues. We need to have a conversation. We need to have a dialogue, as Charles Barkley said. We need to have a dialogue.
We need to come together.
Yeah, Kool-Aid's been on my mind all day because I don't know if y'all saw that guy from Alabama got a deal with Kool-Aid. His nickname is Kool-Aid.
Weed.
Yeah, so it's been on my mind all day. But season predictions. Sorry to digress there.
No.
Let's just say bowl game. I don't know what that looks like. Just get a bowl game. I will say this though, and maybe this is a hot take. I think if they don't beat Houston, Tech doesn't win 5 games this year.
Opinion on this. Jarrett Culver was traded yesterday from the Minnesota Timberwolves to the Memphis Grizzlies, and I know we here are very supportive of this trade and glad that Jarrett can get out of that disaster in Minnesota. What are your thoughts on Jarrett getting a fresh start, and what do you expect from him with the Memphis Grizzlies, the grit and grind?
I'll say this, like, I thought Jarrett Culver was like the 3rd, maybe even 2nd best player in that draft. And then I saw him get drafted to Minnesota. And my first thought was, oh shit, that's not going to work. So when they said they trade him for a 2nd round pick, I mean, I'm a Mavs fan. I was like, okay, I'll give you a 2nd round pick and a bag of chips if that's what you want. Like, I'll let you pick the chip type too. But no, in all honesty, I think that I don't know if there's a better fit for JC, right? Like, when you think of JC, you think of defense first, right? Like, offense second. And you talked about it, that grit and grind in Memphis. It's transitioned away from, those Zach Randolph days and everything like that, Tony Allen. But this is a perfect spot for him because he will not ask to handle the ball at all. You got John Morant, you got other guys there that can handle the ball. He will be able to play off ball. And I think that's the best thing for him is that if Jarrett Culver becomes a guy that can just be a 3-and-D guy in the league that maybe can run an offense for the second unit for, spurts here and there, that's what he is, right? So what I want to see Memphis do with JC is, first of all, hey, you're going to focus on defense, go do what you're best at first. And then in practice, do not leave the gym until you take 250, 300 threes from the corner.
Flat $50 on a table. What tailgate game you picking and beating us at?
Cornhole. No questions asked.
Ooh, there was some confidence, though.
No questions asked.
That was
I've had some. I live in downtown Dallas now. I don't know if y'all been to Clyde Warren Park, that park that's on top of a highway out here, but they put, they have washer toss, I think. A lot of people call that different stuff, but they have cornhole up there too. And I'm not saying that the few times we've been there that I've ran the park or anything with the girl, the missus, but we've run the park. We've run the park. I'll happily say that. I will actually say it. So yeah, we've run the park a couple times. Not afraid to admit it. Super good at bags, whatever you want to call it. We'll run it. We'll run it.
Catch y'all at the next tailgate.